Beekeeping can be a challenging endeavor for a new beekeeper, and sometimes it doesn't go as planned. And as a beekeeping mentor, Philip helps out new beekeepers that are having challenges. Philip has actually done work for this beekeeper before when his bees swarmed last year. Philip helped retrieve his swarm and also did some work in his hives to encourage them to stay. Now they've had some challenges, and Philip goes back this year to do an update and see how the bees are doing. So let's check it out.
In a quick recap, a friend of mine had gotten some bees and didn't realize there was going to be so much involved in it until I started to talk to him, and then he started to dig into it. So in short, he had a few issues with his beehive, and he could have done a couple things to tweak it. So a friend of mine had asked me to help him out with the bees. I also do some other kinds of work for him as well. But in seeing what he had there, it made me think that anybody that's thinking about getting into beekeeping, you really need to do due diligence. Study as much as you can. Get on with a local mentor, and ride along with them and see how they do it, because you can watch YouTube after YouTube. It does give you ideas, and that's great. Watch multiples and then question. That will actually create a question for you. So there's several steps that you kind of want to do in order so that you set yourself up for success. So last year, a friend of mine, he had his bees swarm on him. Thankfully, he called me in a quick enough time. I was able to recover the swarm. We caged the queen, put her in her own box, left some bees in the main box, and let him uncage her about 4 or 5 days later. And they were fine for about 2.5 months. And then all of a sudden, both boxes absconded. No idea why, what was going on. They could have had outside pressure, no idea. So after that had happened, he approached me about buying another hive, a complete hive, instead of starting off from square A again. Now, he already had another colony there, so he had 2 full colonies, and only one of them had swarmed on him. So in fast forward, over the rest of the year, the other box ended up absconding. The box that I sold him did jam up, did great. He actually got honey off of it. And now we come into this year. When we come into this year, he had been maintaining them for what he knows. I recommended to him that we would do a simulated swarm by taking the queen out. While we were in the boxes, very full, he had the queen excluder. He had already gotten a little over a gallon of honey off of that box already that I had sold him. And so I told him, recommend that we make multiple colonies so he had more to choose from in case one flip-flop. So as we go through these boxes, they were already agitated as it was. He told me that he noticed them staying a little more agitated. So our whole goal was to try to find the queen, remove her, put her in a smaller box, and then figure out what we were going to do with her. But we couldn't find her. I went through the frames twice, and thankfully it was just one deep on the bottom that was really where everything was at, because he had his honey up above it.
Well, I haven't had a lot of bugs, moths, stuff like
Now, we get up to Mother's Day, I would say be ready to do a treatment immediately following for mites, and I like to alternate. You hear the tone of the bees?
Yep.
They sound like they're getting a little more irritated. They start to get a little louder than that. Just give them a little puff of smoke. So I like to go diagonally across because it gives me support on both sides. And that way when I push down on this, see there's no vibration in the frame? I'm not disturbing them. Come right down here, hold it nice and solid, push straight down. Same thing. I'm going to show you an example. If I sit here and I do this, and I try to hold it, and I try to see how I'm shaking it much more, it's not stable. So I'm going to hold that there, clean out the track. looking good. All right, I'm gonna take this box, set it to the side, move everything back. Because the way that is so far out will make them draw this one differently. They won't draw it out as much. So
it's actually good to knock it down.
yes. All right, so we're even all the way across, even on the sides as best as you can. See how they're not filling out, they're not drawing out this comb? Yeah. And you see the different color in honey? Yeah. This is this year. That is overwintered honey. You get a lot sweeter off that fall. And see this side?
Oh, that's pretty good.
So instead of
see all that last time
filling this in, they should be filling, instead of doing this, they should be filling in the hole. I will actually run a cord, my electric cord in my pot out close to me. I'll take this frame, I'll go shake, shake, shake. I'll come over here to my roller, my whack, my brush, recoat it. By the time I get it back over here, it's cooled back down. So I'm really just looking in here to make sure I'm not seeing what I should be seeing. And that's drones. Shouldn't see a queen up here. See, they did this one really nice. Nice. But yet they're still working this side. And that you might just let them play it out and see what they do. But if you find they're not doing that too, but everything else is capped, take the frame out. When you get nice, full, drawn out frames, those are the perfect ones. So pretty light. And there is a tool, looks kind of like this, and it has a little finger on it. You can clean this off if need be. A lot of wax that came through that screen. Let's just get rid of it. Put that in my collection bucket. So again, checking for the gaps.
There's some right there too.
Alright, so when they're in your way, I just need to wake it up a little bit, which is nice. It just sits there. It's molds. A lot of times I'll leave it where, it comes right across. So at my outside frames, see, look, here's drones. See those? Drones, 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 drones.
Yeah.
Those are all the drone eggs.
Where?
See these bubbles that look like pimples?
Okay.
Oh, those are bigger.
Well, I thought that was bigger.
No.
Because this is the time you start getting the drone population
Yes.
up.
Yeah, because they're trying to make. Alright, so be on lookout. Look at all that brood. Beautiful. Alright, so here, perfect example. What is that?
Is that a queen?
Supersede yourself.
It's a supersede yourself. So they're wanting to supersede that queen and replace her. So what we want to do is we want to see what's in there. Right now there's no egg. Now that is what we call a queen cup. They will do that, practice, practice, practice. When I see it, I want to definitely confirm that there is not one in there. So because we're going to take the queen, I'm yanking that one out. So you won't have to look later on. If there were an egg there, I would say, oh, we're in good shape. Now, also, remember what I told you these outside frames should have in it? Resources. That's brood. She's doing a jam-up job. There is tons and tons of brood in here. There shouldn't be this. There should be pollen, there should be some honey, all that stuff down there. So I do see larvae in here, all on this outside edge. You see all the white? All right, now I want to turn
Isn't that
back
pollen
to the
right
sun.
there?
Yes, on the bottom of the frame is all pollen. Now I'm looking for eggs standing straight up. And I'm not seeing any eggs standing straight up. But the rest of it's solid, full. Very little resources. This is a perfect frame if you were to pull out like a nuke or see inside of a colony. This is a perfect frame. When these bees hatch, they'll have resources right there. Show me. No, that's a drone. That's a drone, and they do not sting. They don't sting. Here, hold them. Hold them.
Yep.
Big, he's huge.
As soon as he mates, he dies. His insides get ripped out.
Kind of like mine.
Consider yourself something. It's a drone brood. Tons of brood. And this frame is coming apart on the bottom.
Oh,
See
sure
the nail
is, yeah,
staple missed?
Yep. What's all? What is that in there? The white? That's
That's
just
the
wax.
plastic foundation.
Oh, is it?
So, let's keep this handy. Gotta spot that queen. Get down to the last. I've been through boxes twice. Go all the way through, come all the way through. Not find her. Go back again. Sometimes I find her. Then I'll go back a third time if I need to. This one, see how there's resources in here. Pollen, I've got eggs, and I have drones. This one here would be a candidate to move over. Because I have eggs, fresh eggs, we want them to make another queen. So a good candidate to leave. This one I gotta keep my eye on. If you have a queen come back, chances are she's gonna be right in this general area. She'll hatch from that spot. And you'll usually find her there. So let's just say we're not worried about now, but we want to do a split because we want to make more bees. Technically, I could take this frame out and one other frame out, stick them in another box, and let them make another queen. Then go ahead and take the queen out of here, stick her over here in this box, and then let this box continue to do its job. But because he wants to continue to get the honey and keep that process, let's just get the queen over here. Let's slowly build up, and then later on we can actually take some frames out and then do another little split. So once they
So
get
what will you
going.
do? Move this queen over there and then put another queen there, or let them create?
I have queens that we can bring you if you are unsuccessful.
I just have to go in and see if it's going to hit them if I have a brood. That's
Yes,
how I'll know how
that's how you'll know.
about 30 days.
And here is one option that we can do. Let's just say we don't find a queen. I can take this box off, or take the frames out, set them over here, okay? And I can take all these bees, shake them down in here, put a couple frames of resources in here, okay? Then when these bees all come to return, when they're out foraging and everything, they're all going to come back in here. So if I can't find that queen, I just shook off all the bees, provided I did a really good inspection inside the box. Then I know for a fact she's not in there. Then I'm putting all my bees over here, take my chances that she's actually in here. And then you come back here by the weekend, let's just say it's better if you came back in the middle of the week. So at least 4 or 5 days from now, go back through and check frames for fresh eggs. And I mean standing up, not curled around, standing up. If you find them, you know they're needed in that point. So that would be a one fail safe right now if we can't seem to find her. If you're in a time crunch, you know, a couple other factors. I've had times when she's sitting right on the outside. So because there's resources in here, and really you're shooting like at a 50-50 shot too. When you go to shake out, if I put a frame in there that has eggs, then it's kind of a fail safe. I know that I'm going to have a queen somewhere, but if I fail, then at least they can produce another queen. Because if the fail comes in the factor, then that means the queen might have already left. Maybe you're just late. Alright. Gotta look real hard. Try to find it. See the pollen on the legs?
Yep.
That should give you an idea of what's actually out there right now. This one I'm going to put over here just because it's not drawn out. It needs to be tended. So I'm going to leave this in here. Couple reasons. Frame needs to be adjusted, needs to be recovered. The other reason is there are fresh eggs in there. So if we didn't shake the queen over here, I've got fresh eggs here, I've got fresh eggs over here. So let's just go checking over here, see if we can't get her to pop up. Pull frames of brood and fresh eggs. So we did a walk-away split basically next to it. They did start to create queen cells, and in about a week or two later, about 10-12 days later, he called me up and said, I've noticed queen cells in there, they're doing great, but my other bees are just more agitated. He didn't want to deal with it. He wanted to pinch the queen, replace the queens. I'm like, look, I've got 2 calm queens already, got them sitting on the side to take care of this issue for my own hives. So I'll bring those with me. We get there, I start with the small box, saw the queen cells. Didn't see any had hatched, so we went ahead and proceeded with putting a queen in the box, pinched it together, did great. Now we dive into the big box. As we dive into the big box, tons of bees, the numbers are great, found eggs. So now it proved that the queen did not leave. She did stay there, but we needed to get her out before she decided to leave with the majority of the colony. So as I'm digging through there, I couldn't find her. She was very elusive, and I believe she was already superseded, so it wasn't even the original queen that I had given him. We ended up having to take the frames out of the box all the way down to the bottom, shake them off onto a sheet in front of the hive, and then watch them march back into the box. And as we did, we were searching for the queen. We found her. Well, as I found her, I had to grab her with my hands because I didn't have a clip, so I couldn't lose her. And as I'm holding her, I got stung on the other hand, and I dropped both of them. So that would have been a blooper moment if my son didn't catch it on video. Now she's in the grass somewhere, not even on the sheet because I had stood up. He found her again, grabbed her, we put her in a cage, separated her. So I told my buddy, go ahead and wait a few days, at least 3 days, and then go in there and slide that queen cage in there, and then close it up, and then go back in a week and actually check. I did the queen installation on the one box. I had left him the queen for the other box. He installed the queen, but he also told me that the first colony that I put the queen in, they're doing great. She's knocking out some eggs. That's fabulous. He went ahead and installed the queen in the other one. Then I got another update. They released her, and that colony is doing great. She's doing her job, so everything is going pretty smooth right now. So there are some steps. Everybody has their own technique. Everybody's got their own opinion. It really boils down to is what is your agenda? Where do you want to go with beekeeping? Are you in it to sell the bees? Are you in it for the honey? Are you wanting self-pollination? There's a lot of different things that you can, if you just want them just to enjoy them, there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can even get with a local beekeeper and say, hey, you want to keep a bee colony here? I'll keep an eye on them. And you can check in periodically. That would lighten the load for you. They get the benefit of the bees and you get a location. This particular individual did very well. Everything's going as planned, but you definitely got to do your studying. What we did at my buddy's house was my opinion on how we can resolve his issue, and it works just fine. There might be situations in different climate areas that did not work. But you definitely need to prepare your hives. Your frames need to be waxed appropriately. They don't like the plastic foundations very much, so that wax foundation built out is gold to us. If you don't have it, you got to let them build it up, and you can kind of trick the bees a little at a time and pull a frame and stick an empty one in there, let them build it up, and then stow it. That'll help you out down the road. But do some studying as to what you can and can't do, and if you have multiple colonies, you can try different things that might work for you.
Well, one of the great joys that Philip gets to have is mentoring new beekeepers. And it's not just that we are doing this homestead thing and we are doing the beekeeping and raising the animals in the garden. Passing on that knowledge is a real big joy of what we do here at Kowalski Mountain. So friends, we appreciate it so much when you watch our videos and allow us this avenue to share what we're learning. And also, if you don't have a beekeeper that is a mentor in your area, seek one out. That's one of the best ways that you're going to learn about beekeeping right where you live. Friends, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. We can't make our goal of 1,000 subscribers without you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.